Hello everyone, myself Dr. Divya, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So today we will discuss the topic Introduction to Outcome-Based Education, or also called as OBE. Then here is a topic Introduction to Outcome-Based Education. So by end of this lecture, we will understand what is the traditional education system and what is the outcome-based education system, and how outcome-based education system is different and how it is helpful to the students, as it is also called as student-centric approach, and the advantages of OBE, benefits of OBE for faculty, then Washington Accord and National Board of Accreditation, NBA or OBE framework, Bloom's taxonomy. These are the topics we will understand, and we will that will help in better learning for the students. So these are the contents. Traditional education system and their limits. What are the limits of the previous conventionally used education system? Then outcome-based models. Then outcome-based education. So what is outcome-based education? Objectives of outcome-based education. Then OBE as student-centric approach. So as a student-centric approach, how OBE will be helpful. Then advantages of OBE. Then benefits of OBE for faculty. Then Washington Accord and National Board of Accreditation, how they were framing the rules and regulations for OBE. Then OBE framework, then Bloom's taxonomy. These are the different contents we will be going in detail. So we have to first have some questions. So are my students learning, and what are they learning? If they are learning, what are they learning, and how well are they learning? These are different important questions that we have to question ourselves. Then how effective is the learning? Then how much have they learned? So how much are they learning really? The learning part is very important to impart knowledge and apply in different fields. So education is a process facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habit. So of all these, first the learning is very important. Only upon learning we will have acquisition of or getting the knowledge, then skilling up our skills, then values will increase and beliefs, and finally habituate to that system or the model of community, and also apply for our practical applications. So these will judge the quality of education system from three perspectives. So what are they? The input to the system. So focus on finances, resources, and infrastructure. Then what happened within the system? Processes used to organize, control, and deliver education. So this will give and understand what is happening in the system. Then output from the system. So that is nothing but the product or result of education. So these three perspectives gives a quality of education system, increase the quality of education system. So then the traditional education system is, what do I need to teach learner? So that is nothing but they just follow the faculty or the teacher. So what do I need to teach learner? These are the different questions. How are they going to learn this content, and how am I going to access their learning? So these are different questions that arises from the traditional education system. So this old education system is like passive learner or listening. The exam driven, like passing an exam is given more priority. Then rote learning. Then syllabus is content based and broken into subjects. Then textbook bound and teacher centric. It means it is bound to textbook like mugging up. Then syllabus is not rigid and not negotiable. Like the syllabus has to be followed for many decades. Then teacher responsible for learning. Teacher is more responsible in this case. Then motivation dependent on personality of lecturer. Then content placed into rigid time frame, and curriculum development process not open to public comment. It means there is no provision for revising the curriculum. So it is very difficult for the student of different learning levels to understand. So these are the old approach. However, it is most driven by the teacher centric. So that traditional education system is teacher centric education system. So teacher centric education, that we have already discussed. No correlation between classroom learning and industrial expectations. It means after learning there should be some exposure to industry which is lacking. Then intended results are not obtained in authoritative teaching. So finally the results in the practical life is has to be obtained, which is also lacking. Feedback is not taken from the stakeholders. No application to learning to real time situations. So this is also very important. No scope for the continuous improvement. So these are some of the points that is lacking from the traditional education system. So these are the limits. So let us go and understand what is outcome based models and outcome based education. So what will learner able to do? So these are different questions that will be put on. So how can we access their ability to do it? What content do we need to teach for learners to demonstrate their learning? So demonstration of learning is very important. Like once the student is able to learn and achieve knowledge, they has to demonstrate. So new approach or the education system is for like active learners. The active learners will increase. So learners are accessed on an ongoing basis. So day to day or regularly the assessment will be done in the outcome based education. Critical thinking, reasoning, reflection and action. This is also some important points that will be imparting to the students. Then integration of knowledge, learning relevant, connected to real life situations. So these are very important because outcome based education gives an exposure to real life situations in the practical world. And also lecture centered, lecturer is the facilitator. They constantly uses group work and teamwork. So doing projects, assignments and all will help in making students more interesting in inculcating some group work and teamwork. So that is also an approach in the outcome based education. The flexible time frame allow learners to work at their own pace. So comment and inputs from the wider community is encouraged in this case. Then outcome will be assessed in different ways and on ongoing basis. So assessment is an integral part of the whole system. Then the students will not get marks just for remembering the subject content. It means not just remembering, they will be interpreting and including, and they will use the knowledge in the practical applications. So when it is compared together, if it's student centric, course objective is learning target. But when it is like student centered, learning outcomes is the learning target. So completing a course is not the target in the student centric model or OBE model. So learning outcomes is most important. No mapping of learning outcomes in the teacher-centric, and mapping of learning outcomes is necessary in the student-centric model. So we are slowly shifting from the teacher-centric to student-centric model. So student independent learning not calculated here in the teacher-centered one, and constant hours reflects credit value. So depending on number of hours, there is some credits given. But when it is student-centric, student independent learning time is calculated and total self-learning time reflects credit value. So the total time that is being utilized for learning is very important than sitting for longer hours. So what is really this outcome based education means? It is like focusing and organizing everything in an educational system around what is essential for the students to be able to do successfully at the end of their learning experiences. It means that it only not only gives confidence, but also will be able to give all the essential qualities required for the students throughout their learning experience. So it is an education which anchored and focused on outcomes. So outcomes is a major criteria, like they have to get learning outcomes. So B is about feedback and outcomes rather than inputs. So it is like depending on the outcome, the input is assessed or the feedback is given. So OB is a student-centric education system. Then it is an education process that focuses on what students can do or abilities that they should develop after they are taught or after learning. So an outcome is what the learner will be able to do or perform as a result of some experience or learning experience. So once they have that learning, they are expected to do something out of that outcomes, whatever are achieved. So these are some OB standard of education, curriculum, accreditation requirements, industry, and continuous improvement. These are all improvement in all the 5 aspects will happen if OB model of education is imparted. So the main objective of OB is like student centric, that is focus on the students, not on the teacher. Students demonstrate what they know and able to do, and at the end of learning experience, then outcomes are learning results that we want students to demonstrate at the end of significant learning experiences. Then they are not values, beliefs, attitudes, or psychological state of mind. Outcomes are what learners can actually do with what they know and have learned. So it means that outcomes are nothing but after learning, the learners or the students have to know what they have learned, and they have to impart or do practically, so that it is more applicable to when they go to the industries. So they are tangible application of what they have been learned, like for example driving license, gaining software. Like if they are really uh, the knowledge is acquired really, then they'll be able to develop some software so that the learning capacity is achieved or assessed through this outcome. So outcome is culmination, demonstration of learning, not curriculum content. So it is not just writing exams, the demonstration of learning is very important. So this as a student approach, how does it define? Like revise curriculum, adapting to different requirements of different stakeholders like students, parents, industrial person, and recruiters. So depending on the availability and the capacity or the industrial requirements, the curriculum can be revised and reviewed periodically. Improving the learning capabilities of students using experiential learning methods. So the capabilities of the students can be improved using different methods, learning methods. So improved assessing tools or the assessment tools, improved tools are used. Then engaging students in different learning environments for better learning. So there are different kinds of students we have in a classroom. So each one has a different view of understanding. So they can be exposed to different learning environments to learn better. So why we really require this OBE? So it is more directed and coherent curriculum. So the term coherent curriculum or the aligned curriculum refers to an academic program that is well organized and purposefully designed to facilitate learning. are free of academic gaps, free of any gaps and needless repetitions, and we don't require any repetitions, and aligned across lessons, courses, subject areas, and grade levels. These are the different, the term current curriculum indicates it is well organized and it will help in learning, and also there will be no academic gaps and no repetitions will be happening if the learning is proper. So the graduates will be more relevant to industry and other stakeholders, and continuous quality improvement is in place. So international recognition, global environment, employable opportunities will be happen. So this, once we get into this OBE model of education, will be recognized globally, and the employment is also facilitated or favored internationally. Enable graduates to excel in their professions because they will be exposed to industries during this OBE model of education. So they will excel in their profession and also accomplish greater heights in their career. So OBE on paradigm shapes decision making and patterns of concrete action. So this is the paradigm that OBE believes in, because it shapes the decision making is very important for the students. So this will help in making the decisions. Then viewpoint, what, whether students learn successfully is more important than when and how. So whether students are learning and what students are learning is more important when compared to when are they learning and how are they learning. So, what are the advantages? International recognition and global employment opportunities. More employable and innovative graduates with professional and soft skills, social responsibility, and ethics will be coming out. Then, better visibility and reputation of technical institutions among stakeholders, improving the commitment. It improves the commitment and involves the stakeholders, then enabling the graduates to excel in their profession and accomplishes higher greater heights in their careers. So this will help in getting excel, or they will be getting in better position in the professional way, and also accomplishes reaches the heights very easily. Preparing graduates for leadership positions and challenging them and making them aware of opportunities in technology development. So because they are getting already exposed to industry, they will have knowledge on what's going on in the technology part. So they will be having more, they will be aware of the present situation and will have opportunities to explore and discover accordingly. So benefits for faculty members, what are the benefits? They are referred to change of agents in OBE. So faculty are like agents in change or revising a review of curriculums and student-centric approach of studying. Then teaching will become a more creative and innovative career. Then members will no longer feel the pressure of having the source of all knowledge. The faculty members shape the thinking and vision of students towards a course. So the way of thinking will be differing, and the vision will also vary when OBE is imparted. So the Washington Accord and NBA, what is this? It's an international agreement between bodies responsible for accrediting engineering degree department programs in their countries. So this Washington Accord is nothing but an agreement that is signed in 1989 between bodies responsible for accrediting colleges programs in their countries. So within the countries. So NBA is National Board of Accreditation, is a full member of Washington Accord since 2014. So NBA is a board established by AICTE for the purpose of accrediting technical education programs such as engineering and management in an institution in India since 2010. So this is a body in India. national body of accreditation, which is established by AICTE. So they are responsible for technical competence, checking the technical competence of any institution, engineering institution in the country, and give the recognition accordingly. So NBA accredits are the programs and not the institute. So that is not the institute, it is only the programs. An institution planning to apply for the NBA accreditation for a program need to make a self-assessment report. So during this NBA accreditation, the institution has to prepare a self-assessment report. The NBA to accredit, they have to prepare a self-assessment report explicitly mentioning the COs, POs, mapping for a minimum of 8 core courses. So minimum 8 core courses are required to have with mapping of course objectives and program objectives. The concerned department must make a report, self-assessment report, such that the COs are well defined and serve the purpose of OBE. So the report has to be made in such a way that the course objectives are well defined and that will give a glance on OBE education. So institutions adopting this OBE try to bring changes in the curriculum by dynamically adopting the requirements of different stakeholders. So depending on the requirements of industries or the other stakeholders, the institutions will keep on revising the curriculum so that it gives a better understanding to the learners, and also in the practical applications like stakeholders like students, parents, industrial personnel and recruiters. The higher education institutions are classified into two types by NBA, Tier 1 and Tier 2. What are the Tier 1 institutions? IITs, NITs and central universities, state universities and autonomous institutions are under Tier 1 and can also claim the benefits as per the Washington Accord. So all the central universities like IITs, NITs or central universities and state universities come under Tier 1, and also the autonomous institutions also comes under Tier 1 for all the benefits. Tier 2 institutions constitutes of affiliated colleges of these universities. So this is the framework of OBE framework. Plan. What is a plan? Vision, mission, then program outcomes and course outcomes. So these are nothing but the input of the feedback from parents, industry, alumni and professional organizations. These are the inputs we take for planning. Then course planning and delivery. So this is nothing but the syllabus, teaching methods, learning activities and assessment tools. These are the planning we do during the course planning and delivery. Then checking is assessment and evaluation. The evaluation that we have to perform, institutional assessment, program assessment and program outcome attainment, then course assessment and course outcome attainment. So these are the check assessments that are done. Then the ultimate improvements are updates and enhancements. So again, if they depending on this, we will again act upon planning more on the vision and mission session. So this is how the OBE is framework. Then the outcomes and teaching learning purpose, like we have to plan, do, check and act. That is what we have already seen. So the teaching learning process is an important task, and also the assessment that has to be done after learning process, improvements, and depending on the improvement we have to plan again for the outcomes. So this is how we have the framework for outcome based education. So what are our expectations on students under our OBE, the outcomes? They are expected to be able to do more challenging tasks rather than memorizing and writing the exams. So they write project proposals, complete projects, analyze case studies, give presentations, abilities to think, question, research, and make decisions based on the findings in the project. These are some of the expectations we will be having for the students after OBE. So be more creative, able to analyze and synthesize information, then able to plan and organize tasks, able to work in a team as a community or in entrepreneurial service teams to propose solutions to problems and market their solutions. So if, for example, if we are developing a software, we should be able to sell it off or market that software in the market. So it is very important to have that quality while during study. So next comes the Bloom's taxonomy. So this is very important. This is a tool which can measure the student's level of learning or the knowledge and map that at which stage of ladder he exists. So we will understand at where he is standing or she is standing through this Bloom's taxonomy. So by utilizing the Bloom's taxonomy, students are not going to forget the information as soon as the class ends. So rather they retain and apply this information so that they grow continuously and impart in their careers and staying one step ahead in the competitive world. So a classification of this behavior and learning developed by Benjamin Bloom and others. So it is therefore called Bloom's taxonomy. So organized in 3 hierarchical domains of learning. So that is cognitive domain, affective and psychomotor domain. So these are 3 different categories that are developed for the Bloom's taxonomy. So the cognitive domain involves the development of mental skills and also acquisition of knowledge. So in 1958, earlier development, there is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So soon after implement in 2001, there is a revision in this to noun to verb. Verb state is included in course or objectives, that is remember, understand, then apply, analyze, evaluate and create. So ultimately they need to create something in their mind, having these good abilities to think and increase the power of creativity. So this creativity first, remember from the first, we have to remember what is being taught, recall the facts and basic concepts, define, duplicate, list, memorize, repeat and state. These are the some basic things that we have to perform. Then understand, have clear idea on topics or concepts, then classify, describe, discuss, explain. These are some of the terms that we use for understanding. Then apply, use information in different situations. Applying is nothing but execution of that project. So applying, we are applying our knowledge for completing that project. So execute, implement, solve, use. These are the terms we use. Then analyze, draw connections among ideas. So we have to analyze how that going to work. Then evaluate, justify a stand or decision. We have to justify that our planning is going to work out or our statement is going to work out. Then produce new or original work. So we have to produce whether new work or revise or already having original work. We have to give an improvement to that particular work. This is nothing but from thinking skills, like from remembering to creating, what we have already discussed. So these are the different terms that we use for all the definitions or the terms from remembering to creating the creating a knowledge based outcome, so that we have to imply or the comply information together in different way by combining elements in a new pattern or proposing alternate solutions. So if there is a problem in an industry having in the machinery or the robotics, so we are giving some solutions. That is nothing but we have this creating power, so that will be imparted from our outcome based education. So it is also by Cratwell and Anderson, there are different verbs that are given, differently, so that we can adapt and give it. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.